to be a winner? What's the mindset of a winner? What does a winner do? What sorts of things should we be thinking about every single day to get us where we want to go? So I'm going to kick us off here. And
Paige, can I interrupt really quick before you get on your roll?
Yeah.
Because for you guys, this came from a great conversation with Danny Young, and I've never heard anybody put something more succinctly. What did Danny say? He said, "Winners win and
quitters quit."
Winners win and quitters quit. And so we want to talk about winners here, because if you're here, if you're on this call, you're already on the right track to being a winner, right? Quitters quit. That's what they do. That's the only way to fail in this business. So we want to talk about the way to succeed and get to the top. Sorry to interrupt, Paige. I just love that quote from Danny.
Yep. Winners win, quitters quit. And you get to choose which one you are, which is the beauty of it. So the 5 abilities of a winner. First one, workability. A winner is willing to work for what they want. They understand that there is a price to pay for the things that are worth having. Nothing worth having is free. It takes work. And the more work you put in, the bigger the prize is at the end. And that's an exact representation of what we have here. It's hard in the beginning. It's tough. You got to be willing to work. But if you're willing to put in those hours, the dials, the time, the questions, go through the discomfort of being new here, the prize at the end is a pretty big one. And it's the biggest one I've ever seen. So winners are willing to work. They're willing to pay the price. Second ability, likability. You're a person others feel good around. You're someone that attracts people to you, meaning you're positive, you're encouraging, you're excited. You're someone that leaves people better than when you found them. That's what a winner is. They add value to the world. They add value to others. Third, stickability. They're willing to stick it out until they figure it out. Like Hunter said, the only way to lose here, the only way to fail here is by quitting. Every person, and I've been here for 4 years now, every person that I've seen win, it's just been a matter of them being here long enough. Sometimes it takes a couple years. Sometimes it takes 10 years. Sometimes it takes 12 years. We don't know. We don't know how long it's going to take for us. But what we do know is if we stick around long enough, we are going to figure it out. We are going to win. We are going to catch fire. Just have to keep showing up. I'm asked a lot what the average agent does here when I'm having a conversation with somebody new. The average agent quits, right? Winners win, quitters quit. But I know that everyone on this call is above average. And you can choose whether you want to be above average or not. And what that comes down to is just not quitting. So to be above average, this means not quitting. Fourth aspect.
Pete.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so winners or champions or people who tend to become successful or accomplish those goals and get places they dream of or imagine themselves being, they don't just not quit. Maybe you don't have all of the complete comprehension of how everything works. Maybe you have some, me too, right? I have my issues, but there's a willingness to, they say sacrifice, but I believe it's much larger than that. It's, are you willing to count it all as lost? Do you count it all as lost? When you count it all as lost, that means you're willing to go through the fire and come out on the other end, refined, transformed, right? And it takes time, but if you don't quit, then, and you count it all as lost, then you'll have something to gain on the other side, right? And myself, like, I don't comprehend a whole lot. I don't always understand a whole lot, but I understand. I have a little bit of intelligence where I understand. I can reach out to people like Paige or other leaders or people in my circle who I know, who they'll tell me, hey, delegate that work. Hey, get somebody to do this. Get somebody to do this for you because I'm not that technological. right? Like my team, like I'm always reaching out to Tom, the guys, David, and the guys in our group, because I'm like, hey, I'm stuck here, right? And so one of the qualities of a leader, Ryan Miller said this when I talked to him. He said that leaders have an ability to acknowledge their weaknesses. So what does that mean? Is not being ashamed of that. And so I just want to leave that with somebody. I feel like there's somebody in here that needs to hear that. And I'm saying that for you and for me. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Stickability. Stickability. Stick it out till you figure it out. Fourth aspect of a winner. Fourth ability of a winner. Coachability. And you touched on this. Having a willingness to learn. Remove the ego and understand that there's always a lesson, always something to learn. There's always room to grow. Ego can ruin a perfectly good person. You gain so much more from the mistakes that you make than the accomplishments that you have. You gain more from the mistakes. You gain more from the lessons that you learn on the way to winning than you do by actually winning. And winners understand that. They understand that the growth is in the journey. There's always something. What I learn here versus what do I already know? You're going to set yourself up to be that much better. They embrace the new. They embrace the opportunity to grow themselves. They embrace that, the discomfort in growing. And the last ability, accessibility. Winners find access to what they need. Mark said this too, right? They don't wait for someone to give them the golden ticket. They go find it. They buy every candy bar that they can to find that golden ticket. Here, everybody has access to everything. You have access to all of the coaching. You have access to all of the training, the leads, the marketing, a proven system, motivation, coaching. And winners understand that their success is their responsibility, and they go find it. They find what they need and they use it until they're at the point where they don't need it anymore. Then they find the next thing that they need. Winners make accessibility for themselves. So again, the 5 abilities of a winner: workability, willing to work really, really hard for what they want. Likability, be a person that adds value to others. Be a person that's attractive because you're excited, you're motivated, you're energetic, you're willing to share. Stickability, stick it out till you figure it out. Coachability, willingness to learn and grow. Know that you're always a student and there's always something to learn. And last but not least, accessibility. Find what you need and get after it. The answers are always here. It's just a matter of if and where we're willing to look for them. Hunter, over to you.
Love it. Love it. Great tee up, Paige. And thank you so much. Yes. So getting to be the person who has the abilities requires some action steps, right? There are some things that we have to do from day one to be able to become coachable, to be able to have that workability, to have that accessibility, to have that likability. So we want to talk a little bit about action steps. What can everybody on this call, regardless of resources, regardless of background, regardless of, situation, do from day one in order to drive their own success? And so as we sat down and talked about this call a little bit and started thinking about some of these action steps, there were a few that stuck out, and we want to talk about those right now. And number one, and Paige just touched on this with coachability, but it's growth. Every single one of us here can commit ourselves to our personal and professional growth, whether it's reading, whether it's podcasts, whether it's, getting on Audible and downloading the books. If you're not somebody who likes to work on or look at words on a page, we all have the ability to dedicate a little bit of time, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day to our personal growth and development, because we know here that we've got to grow as a human in order for our business to grow, right? We know that we have to learn to embrace rather than fear failure. We know that by pushing through that, by becoming a bigger version of ourselves, we enable ourselves to encounter and conquer larger challenge. We know that learning an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset is going to empower our business to grow, right? And so dedicating time every single day to personal growth is one thing that everybody can do here, right? From day one, in order to build that. And in that growth mindset too, a lot of us come from a background of the corporate culture, right? Where you're constantly in competition, constantly working against somebody else for the promotion. And one of the amazing things that Symmetry has done is given us an environment in which success is there for everybody, and your success never comes at anyone else's expense, and vice versa. Learn to understand and embrace that mindset, right? That's that abundance talking. There's no nobility, right, in being superior to somebody else here, but we can be superior to our former selves. And when we grow, our business grows along with us. Number 2 is set goals. All right. We all have a goal that we want to reach, and sometimes those can be just as frustrating as they are inspiring. And one of the things that Tom and I in particular have been working on lately with the builders here in this organization is talking about making goals reasonable and reachable. So when you're setting goals for yourself, a couple of things to think about. Is this something that I can attain in the next 90 days? If not, then put that one on the shelf maybe for a little bit. Focus on setting goals that you can attain in 90 days or less, right? Focus on setting goals that have some sort of result in that time period so that you don't get frustrated and you don't give up on them. If you walk in here on day one thinking about becoming a 130, you're going to realize very soon that that journey is a lot longer than most people anticipate, right? And the chances that you end up in the quitter's circle grow exponentially when you don't have a goal that's attainable in a short period of time. But what is attainable for somebody brand new within 90 days? Well, getting to a 95% contract level is attainable. We can set that, right? Momentum, as Paige just said in the chat, momentum starts from action, not the other way around. So set those goals, make sure that there's something that you can get to quickly, they're tangible, they're right there, and then continue to set them each time you achieve. Within goals too, goals in and of themselves are not quite enough, right? We also have to make commitments, right? So when we set a goal, we have to have a correlating commitment to activity that is going to help us achieve that goal. If my goal, right, is a promotion, I want to get that next 5% raise, or I want to get that slingshot bonus, but I don't commit myself to dialing, the chances that I achieve that goal, not very high. So have correlating commitments that go with your goals. Action step number 3, eliminate excuses. Be wholly committed to the necessary steps that it's going to take to achieve, right? Every person who succeeds here finds a way to make things happen. Tom's going to talk about this here in a little bit when we start talking about conference, but eliminate excuses. Oftentimes, the reason you don't do something is exactly why you should. The reason you choose not to do something is exactly why you should do it. So be an excuse eliminator. Be somebody who can hold yourself accountable. And if you're not right now somebody who holds yourself accountable, that's okay. Go find someone else who will. Reach out to your upline, reach out crossline, find a running buddy, find a working group, somebody who is going to hold you accountable to being able to achieve the goals that you want. Number 4, Paige talked about this in coachability, but it's a very, very important action step that a lot of people overlook, whether it's because of pride or ego or arrogance. Ask for help. Just ask for help. There is not a single person on this call who won't stand up and give you a hand if you need one, right? That is the kind of people we attract in this agency. That's the kind of people we all are. Ask for help. Admit when you don't know something. Don't try to be an island here. Acknowledge what you don't know and ask proactive questions. Don't wait for something to go completely sideways before you reach out. Reach out early. Reach out when you see a potential pitfall and say, hey, what can I do to avoid this? What do I need to do to make my next promotion? As Tom and I talk about all the time, asking questions like what's next, what do I do next, is the biggest key to growth here. And then lastly, be active, okay? Dial, participate on calls, recruit, share the experience that you're having with your friends, with your family, with former coworkers. Don't be a secret agent, right? Let people know how excited you are to be here doing what you're doing, changing your life, changing your family's life. You're going to be the person who puts your family's financial future on a different trajectory. Share that experience, share that joy with people around you. And lastly, in being active, guys, track your business. Know what you're doing, know what's working, know what's not. Be ready to share those numbers with whoever you reach out to, because I guarantee at the end of the day, this is a business just like anybody else or any other business. When it all comes down to it, at the end of the day, the numbers always tell the story. If you don't know that, you don't have a business. Okay. So a couple action steps to be able to start yourself on that journey. We're going to kick it over to Tom for probably, I think, the most quintessential step coming up here in September to becoming a winner.
No pressure there, huh? I love it. I love talking about this because it's made a difference in my life. And for all of you taking notes, conference, write this word down. This is the number one thing for conference. Well, yeah, number one and 1A. I'll get to 1A in a second. You have to go. Go. Write it down. Get your ticket. Go. Put a 1 in the chat if you already have your ticket for conference, please. Okay, Barbara, good, good. Like it. I saw your 1 there. I know you're driving, but I got it. The other thing is to invite someone with you to go. The numbers prove out. Gosh, Paige, what was it? Andrew Jimenez tracked his business, right? He had 100 agents that were active at one point. 99 of them had been to conference. That's an incredible number, especially in an industry where there's a 92% attrition rate. Think about that. He reversed those numbers just by getting people to conference and invite people with you. If you have 10 people at conference in 90 days, you're looking at a $50,000 passive business coming your way. 10 people. That's it. 10. Get them there, do it. And then when you do make that commitment, and Hunter, I appreciate you saying commitment with goals, because I think that's a key word. When you make that commitment, coming into the action step there is coming in with the cash flow glow, as they say. Come in with a whole bunch of activity and a whole bunch of deposits. So you're sitting in conference and you're getting a text that you got another deposit. That is the best feeling in the world. The second thing for conference success, besides going, you got to go, is attend everything. The events, there's going to be the events in the theater. There's going to be team dinners, big team dinners, things like that. There's going to be gatherings along the way. There's going to be, oh, hello. There's going to be gatherings. There's going to be parties. There's going to be social events. There's going to be meet me upstairs in 20 minutes. All kinds of things. It happens. That's the best part of this. You're right, Paige. If you want to change your life, go to conference. You are guaranteed to be a different person when you leave. There is no doubt about that. Thank you for adding that. When you're attending, take notes, take photos. And one of the other keys that I'm really looking to implement more and more is recap each day. Recap the notes. Brandish that into your brain, what you heard that day. There's so much going on. And yeah, me too, Paige. This is awesome. You know, who can you bring? Who can you bring to conference? Start now. You know, who are you going to talk to? You know, on these calls that you see, who inspires you on the national call? Who inspires you on any of these calls? A Wayland call, this call, anybody. I mean, heck, number one on your list should be to talk to Paige Durgan, because she's just a badass. And you should want to talk to her first and foremost out of anybody. And then, you know, because that's number one on my list. No offense, Hunter, but Paige is always number one. I know. We're in the same boat, aren't we? But
if I'm honest, Tom, I'd rather talk to her than you most days too. So
I get it. I'm good. I'm good. But you know, who can you relate to? Who is where you want to be eventually in this business that where you're not right now, and talk to those people. they're going to help you. They're going to answer your questions. You know, if we're being transparent, I know Paige pours into me more than probably she ever should. And sometimes she hits me over the head with 20 different things, and somebody else says something at conference that hits just like that. And I say something to Paige, she goes, yeah, we've been talking about that for like 2 years. Why today? And it's just the different voice that you hear it from, that's the magic of it. And I think we can all agree that, different people say different things in different ways, and we process it just a little different. So, you're going to find people who are your friends. You're going to find people who you want to meet on this screen and hang out with. And that's what it's all about. The fourth step on this is breakouts. Carefully calculate your breakouts and what sessions you're going to. Don't just skip those. Not good. This is your secret weapon at conference. Everybody is gathered in to hear the main speakers, but the breakouts for me have really been very, very important from the standpoint you really learn how to run your business, and you're going to come up with different notes and different things and different ideas. But lean into your mentor there, because your mentor has probably been where you're at, and they could probably help you figure out exactly what breakout to go to really push your business forward. And it is going to be like pressing fast forward on your business. And then the fifth step is have questions for people. Have questions laid out. If you see Paige Durgan, ask her how she got there. What did she do? What other things? What are some of the steps that you can do to get to where she's at? Or what were some of the, and same thing here. It doesn't have to be, the top of the company, but you are going to meet the people at the top of the company. You'll find them in the aisles. You'll find them in the hotel. Have questions ready. Have like 3 or 4 to 5 things. I usually have about 5 things that I want to accomplish while I'm at conference, and ask questions. And you get these elevator moments. You get these moments in the aisles. You get these moments in the hotel lobby early in the morning where you get to ask these questions, and of people that you normally don't have access to. So from that standpoint, I reiterate, number 1, you have to go, or none of what I just said means diddly poo at all. It doesn't mean a thing. It just doesn't. So there you go. My passionate plea is get your ticket, get to conference, or yep, exactly. Hey, I was keeping it clean, Paige.
Did you just say diddly poop?
I did. Isn't
Not
that good?
afraid. I don't know that I've heard that phrase from anybody over the age of 7 before.
Well,
It's 7 or 7D, so I don't know.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. You're right.
This gray hair is well earned, okay? But I don't want that to. All right, I'll put it this way. If you don't make it to conference, you just don't give a shit about your business. How's that?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
There you go.
And guys, none of you know this, but Tom told me something the other day that I'm going to go ahead and share with all of you right now. And he said, if we get 90% of the people on this call today registering for conference, he will start growing a mustache and not shave it until after conference.
I would rather him go, if we can get everybody on the amount of people on this call, he shaves his head bald. I would go for that.
Oh yeah, no, he said he'd do that too, Josh. Mustache and shave his head.
I did not agree to shave my head.
Now I will discount a ticket. I will you more to make this happen.
Commitments, Tom. Commitments.
No. You don't understand. My dad and my brother are cue balls. I will not go that route. In fact, if you want to know, I'll let you know here. This 75 hard I'm going through, I'm not cutting my hair until we're done. I got 40 days to go. And then I'm gonna go to this really nice place where they actually serve beer and wine, and get a long haircut and figure this out and come back.
There you go.
Fresh, overhauled. And Yeah, just recapping these 5 real quick. You got to, number 1, you got to go to conference. Number 2, you've got to attend everything. Number 3 is, who are you going to talk to? Who do you want to talk to? And one of the keys there is also track down everyone outside of our agency, because you do have access to all of us all the time. So track down other people and learn how they're running their business. You may find a super secret thing that they're doing that just relates to you. Attend all the breakouts. That's number 4. And have questions lined up in your mind for your business on where you want to go. How do you want to ask those questions? And what are you looking for? What are you lacking in your business? Or where do you want to grow? Or where do you want to develop? Have those questions and track down the best in the business in those areas and ask them the questions. How did you massively recruit and build your agency by 200 agents in over 2 years from only having 4? Those kind of questions, whatever it is. And yeah, exactly. And once again, it is the best of the best. There are more people there that are where we want to be, and you have access to them, and they will all gladly answer every single question. So,
Hey, Tom, can I add a little bit of snippet there? Because the other things are coming up before even conference. Like, grab your conference ticket, right? But what's going to solidify that even more is these local events. If you're anywhere near any of these local events, that the spring tour that are popping up, these corporate overviews, go there, and it's gonna. It will solidify. That's what I did. That's where I get to meet John and Paige for the first time. Was right literally this time 2 years ago, and that is what solidified me going to conference and bringing my spouse. We didn't bring that. If you can, bring a significant other. Bring your significant other, because that you can ask Tom or Paige. Anna was a little bit skeptical. She was a little bit that way. Conference is what gave her the whole backing to tell me, hey, you can quit school. She literally told me, you can quit school to go do this full time. You don't have, we can do this together. Beforehand, she had me behind it, but after conference, I had the backing of Symmetry Financial Group to be able to actually go think forward. So if you can, not just go buy 1 ticket, get 2 tickets and bring your spouse. You make a mess and figure it out later. Same thing. $400, you can figure it out.
Absolutely. I want to second that too. I got to bring my husband to the first national conference that I got to go to, and he was a little skeptical, and he was like, yeah, it looks like it's all woo woo, rah rah, all this kind of stuff. And by the end of it, he was taking pictures of all the slides for me and helping me take notes, because he really saw the vision of it. So definitely agree with that.
And if you're wondering how to bring your friend or another new agent to conference, get them to those local events, and they will absolutely help solidify and help you get them to conference as well. By far, use the leaders in Symmetry to your advantage at all these events for sure. That's a really good points. Paige, Hunter, back to you. I think I could talk for another hour on this, but I'll spare you.
Awesome job. I so many takeaways here, and I love those that participate in the chat too. It really adds to the call here, and really to sum it all up, winners do what it takes, right? What do you want here? How soon do you want it? And how can we help you get there? Be thinking about that, because this opportunity, it's not just a job, right? We're not looking for people that just want a job. We're looking for those that want an opportunity to change their lives, to make their future kids that much better, right? Their generations to come. We're looking for people that want this change everything. So be thinking about that. What do you want here? How bad do you want it? How soon do you want it? And what can we do to help you there? So with that, we'll end a little bit early today, 15 minutes early. We'll give you the gift of time. We appreciate everybody popping on here today. I loved all the takeaways. LFG for real. Mark Anthony, I love that. Everybody have an awesome Monday. Let us know how we can help you. We will not be here next Monday because it's Memorial Day, and I know a lot of people do family stuff. So we'll go ahead and cancel our call for next week. But we'll see you after that and on the calls throughout the week. So have a good one, guys.